Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Caesar Transformation Healing Center. I'm going to be looking at the rest of June 2024 from an astrological perspective. This is coming out a tad late, and apologies for that. Hopefully, you enjoy it. Um, I do try to keep up with these every week, and I've been getting busier. Thank you very much to all my new subscribers and to all my new clients. It's been a real pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to meeting those I haven't met yet. Um, but I like to keep doing this for you guys. So let's just jump right in. Of course, now we have the sun in Cancer because we just had the solstice. So I did put the Cancer painting that I did up there. It's a little empty. I got to put a crab, maybe a few shells, maybe a little like dolphin jumping out the water or something. I'll think about it. Um, and then of course our trees of life there and uh and the like. So let's get started, right? Okay, we'll jump right in. Oops. Sorry, I'm pressing the wrong buttons, guys. Big shocker. All right, let's take a look and see what is coming up. This is the week of June 23rd to the end of the month, the 30th, which is a little more than a week, but let me just find a little thing I have to press here. Okay, found it. All right, so as we approach this last week, we have the sun now in the sign of Cancer. Um, that has changed the energy quite a bit. Before the sun moved into Cancer, Mercury moved into Cancer, and then Venus moved into Cancer from Gemini, and now the sun is there as well. It's going to take a while before Mars gets into Cancer later in the summer, but these are the inner planets in the sign of Cancer. So it's a very sensitive, emotional time. We can see that at the bottom of the tree here. Um, we have Cancer. Cancer, we have a last quarter moon in Aries. Aries is a cardinal sign as well as Cancer, right? And then, of course, the Earth itself in the sign of Capricorn, wherever the sun is, the Earth is in its opposite sign. So there is this cardinality at this time, of this week, of course, new beginnings, new starts. And that last quarter moon creates a crisis in the way that we think about things. We're questioning authority. We want to work together. There's an energy of getting past the authorities or those who think they are the authorities in order for us to move forward into a much more collective and fair future. Um, and we can feel that energy. That energy is shifting, it's moving. And part of the reason is because our feelings matter, and especially when the sun is in Cancer. And we are going to have next month, the 15th of July, we're having a new moon in Cancer, and that's a new beginning. So there is a lot of, we're at a point where the new is really impressing itself upon the old, and um, some of the old stuff will fall away and some of it will remain, because the old stuff isn't, it's not just about uh, letting go of the rules and regulations, but it's also accessing the wisdom of the ages and the wisdom of age. And people who are older have been through things that the young have perhaps, well, certainly not in this lifetime, but they could have remembrances. But the future looks very stark and very dark to them, and we cannot blame them for being upset. Yet they have the ultimate power. Pluto in Aquarius is really going to bring in that energy of the power of the people. So things are changing, things are shifting. This election, although we're only given the choice of two old men, um, who do we want to, what old man do we want, running things? Do we want somebody who is compassionate, understanding, and willing to work with us, or somebody who's just going to tell us um, that we're a POS and, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to listen to me? Honestly, I know where my vote goes. All right. So let's talk about the week. There's not a whole lot happening, even though it's quite a few days, but the things that are happening, of course, are important. We look to this just as a reminder on this tree of life. 2024 is an 8 year that sits here on the path of strength in the tarot. The Leo energy, creative self-expression, energetically aligns with the throat chakra, the place where divine will works through us. Um, it is the 6th month. The 6th month is the vibration of 6 is found on this path. It is the path of Gemini. Of course, we had all that activity in Gemini at the beginning of the month, along with Jupiter moving into Gemini at the end of May. When we add these two vibrations together, we get a third vibration, the 14.5. June has been a 14.5. June 2024 has been a 14.5 vibration, and it is a vibration of temperance. And it is a trial by fire. It is a reckoning in a way for us to walk the middle path and to avoid the extremes and to rise up. This path, the path of the mystic, connects the higher and the lower self. It's as if we're reaching up to our own spiritual self, the higher self, and that is in Cancer this month. And so it is about following our feelings. Cancer also looks suspiciously like the yin and yang sign, right? And suspiciously like a hurricane. The yin and yang that we see, or Cancer in this case, is moving. It's still, because it's a picture, right? Or it's drawing, but it's always moving. There's always moving. And that energy of Cancer, where the water rushes in and then it gets sucked back out, and then the water rushes in, that tidal place, the place of great instability, but it is the place where life begins, where the earth and the sea come together. It is a holy and a sacred place, and it is the place of Cancer. And so we are at that place. We are at that place where the emotions nurture the soil, right, and create new life. So that's the energy. Wednesday the 26th, Mercury makes a waxing trine to Saturn. Now, trines are flowing, and Mercury is the mind. It is in the sign of Cancer, so it's emotional feeling. The trine to Saturn brings stability to the emotions and a connection to source, because Saturn is in Pisces. So there is this sort of morphogenic emotional field at this time. And what you think actually can manifest, because that is the energy of Saturn. And it's not necessarily like it's the imagination, it's the power of the imagination. And so we can create beautiful imaginings, or we can create fear imaginings. I was actually, I haven't really spent a whole lot of time watching the news, but I did watch a couple of things today, and just here and there, um, they were talking about Project 2025, and there's the progressive Democrats sort of like rising up and fight and wanting people to know like what the options are here, and like, so you can see people mobilizing. You can see it's there, it's happening. People are moving to make big changes, and big changes have already been made, but a lot of the attention goes to the reality show that is uh, the 45th president's legal woes, and him. Who cares about him? You know what I'm saying? But there are people working in in the background, making things better. And there's a lot of power for that, especially this week. Saturday, the 29th, we have Venus sextile Mars. Now, Venus and Mars are the two planets that are connected to how we relate to one another. Sextiles open the lines of communication. This is beautiful. And Cancer, the sign of Venus, of course, very compassionate, very sensitive, very empathetic, very connected to family. Family is very important to Venus in Cancer. Security is very important to Venus in Cancer. Enough food is very important to Venus in Cancer. Venus is our essential needs, and Cancer is nurturance. We need nurturance, right? And so it's making a sextile, which opens the line of communication with Saturn, which is in pragmatic and practical Taurus. And so there's an opportunity for a communication so we can tell people what we need, or our needs can be heard, or we're taking actions to have our needs fulfilled. And those actions are in Taurus, and Taurus is stable, and Taurus is albeit slow, but stable. Taurus gets the job done. So we have an opportunity to really express our needs and actually get the ball rolling in having those needs fulfilled, and not just us and you and I, but even those who have the least. Like there's this energy of the spreading of the goodness, um, depending on what you focus upon. This can also manifest itself in relationships that are having issues with resources. What's mine? This is mine. This is yours. Clinging to old ways, not being willing to let go of the resources that maybe they don't need as much as they actually have. And there's all kinds of ways that this can manifest itself, but it is an opportunity for us to relate to each other and actually talk to each other and listen to each other. At that same day, Saturn goes retrograde at 20 degrees of Pisces, and the Sabian symbol is a cafeteria. The dangers of superabundance, when there are too many choices, right? When there are too many choices. And we also have on that day Mercury, the planet of the mind, making a sextile, which opens the line of communication again to Uranus, the higher mind. So listening to that small, still voice within, who might be yelling at you at this point, is important. It is in Cancer and Taurus, and so it is about those issues of security and nurturance, and money to a certain extent, but money as a way of having your needs met, not necessarily. It can be money for money's sake, but I think that we're at a point where there are very few people who have the option to do that, and that's not really what most people care about anyway. I think most people just care about, having a safe place to live, to raise their families, to thrive, to work together with others to make the world a better place. Most people are well intentioned. Unfortunately, it's all these criminals that get our attention. But if you just talk to someone and you start working with them, you'll realize that we're really kind of all on the same page, I think. All right, let's look at these specific aspects. Mercury sextile to Saturn at Cancer, 20 of Cancer and Pisces. This is um, a, uh, a chart for Washington, D.C. So thank you for allowing that. It's a Page of Cups day, so it's a good news day, right? So this is the flowing energy that brings structure to our thoughts. Part of the synod, which began at the Saturn-Mercury conjunction on 2/28/2024 at 10 degrees of Pisces, an aviator flying through ground obscuring clouds. That symbol was about being really, really good at what you do, being your best at what you do, because you're going to have to be focusing your intentions pretty at the work at hand, right? If you're flying through ground obscuring clouds, you have to pay attention to your instruments. You have to pay attention to the wind speed. You have to read the situation so that you can do what you need to do, land the plane, right, safely. And so it takes a lot of concentration. That was the initial conjunction of Saturn, which is about responsibility and focus, and Mercury, which is about the mind, right? Um, let's see, what vibration was that in? 228, 30, 3811. So that was a 3811 vibration on that day, which is the Queen of Cups. So part of that get being good is honing your psychic skills, Now Mercury's at 20 of Cancer, Venetian gondoliers giving a serenade, celebration of permitted emotional expression in a trine to Saturn at 20 degrees of Pisces, living with an attitude of gratitude in the flowing, self-expressive, creative flow. So celebration of permitted emotional expression in aligns with an attitude of gratitude, being grateful for what you have and sharing that gratitude with those of you who have helped you get there, or just people you may want to share with. You may want to share the good feelings that you have, and this is what this day is about. Venus sextile Mars here. This is happening on a Three of Cups day. Here we have the Three of Cups, three friends coming together, celebrating their friendship, sharing their joys, feeling supported, right? This is the energy of this day. Creative Venus sextile Mars, creative communication and passionate connections on the seeds planted at the Venus-Mars conjunction. 7 degrees of Aquarius, if you remember, that happened back on the 22nd of February, which incidentally was a 32.5 vibration, the Six of Wands. The 32.5 is an important vibration because it connects with the United States. The word America vibrates to that. But it is also the shadow of the United States, and the shadow is here to be healed. And so this is an opportunity for healing through connection to other people, right? The 7th degree of Aquarius, a child being born out of an egg, freedom from old ways and standards. Dramatic changes occur when entirely new mutations occur that break the traditions of the past. Breaking with traditions, doing it differently, doing it differently. Now Venus is at 15 of Cancer. That is going to be the degree of the new moon. So pay attention to that, the new moon next month. In a sumptuous dining hall, guests relax after partaking in a huge banquet. Though it carries obvious risks of greedy attachment, the enjoyment of the material abundance is a valid spiritual principle, celebration of self. That is in a sextile, opening the lines of communication with Mars at 15 degrees of Taurus, a head covered with a rakish silk hat, muffled against the cold. A man braves the storm, coping with adversity. And so there is this sense of perhaps by celebrating life, coming together, and sharing an experience, we can overcome and cope with the adversity that we are not alone in this on this journey. We are here for each other, even though very often we there's a part of us that, or there's a part of the power structures that want to pit us against each other, but we're really here for the same thing. And if we just, at a certain level, you have to kind of get out of your fear and believe that it's possible, right? That love does really conquer. Okay. And Saturn retrograde, this is also happening on this day, the 29th of June at 20 degrees of Pisces. Now I have, yeah, see 20, here is this station here. 20 degrees of Pisces. Here's the sextile between Venus and uh, Mars. Opening lines of communication, very, very positive aspect. The soul's I can't say the word, journey. I'm going to say the soul's journey on earth puts it in touch with so many things which are not of its essence. It learns of suffering, of loss and disappointment, of frustration and failure, of sickness and of death. Yet these darker energies are of the earth, and at the end of days, the soul returns home and is guaranteed comfort and joy once again. So this is a reminder that, you know, it may be challenging at this time, but this is why we came, and there's going to be rest, and we don't really have to wait until we all like are in spirit to rest. We can actually create some heaven on earth. We just need to figure out that that's the most important thing to focus upon. And we also have Mercury sextiling Uranus, lines of communication open between the lower and high minds. This is part of the synodic cycle that began at the Mercury-Uranus conjunction. That happened on the 31st of May. It was a 44E vibration, which is the Four of Cups, at 25 degrees of Taurus, a vast public park. This is a symbol of working collectively. Belonging to a tribe or community involves us in working together towards shared goals that we all enjoy, participation in community responsibilities. That was the initial instinct, the initial seed of this Mercury-Uranus pairing, and now they are in sextile to each other with Mercury at 26 of Cancer, becoming an influential member of society. Requires awareness of current trends and ideas and beliefs, power, responsibility, and impermanence of social position. Sextile Uranus at 26 of Taurus, a Spanish galleon serenading his beloved. It's the symbol is learning how to behave appropriately. And so this is a need to, you know, everybody talks of civil war, civil war. There is a war on civility, and it's time for us to put the weapons down. And the weapons are mostly like what we say to each other. You know, the swords of the words, what we call people, what we, you know, how we categorize them. People are people, and the sword separates us, but it's the heart that unites us. And this is all speaking of circles of support. We're dealing with cups here. This is actually a Cancer vibration in the system that I use. I'll be right up. All right, I am being called, and I think this is the last the last one. Yes, okay. All right, excellent. All right, I'm getting called for brunch, I think it is. So, oops. I am not gonna delay because I am quite hungry. Such a very Cancer thing to say. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe if you would. I do have my horoscopes out for July if you want to check those out. I was just recently on Susan Lynn's channel. If you want to check her channel out, she's fabulous. And most of you probably know her already. But if you don't, check her out. I did a video on SCOTUS and the United States, and the fact that the United States is moving into a one vibration energetically this year, and the significance of that, and the one that it is. I'm going to do a video on that. So, but I did talk to Susan about that, so you can check that out. You can also check out our last live. Ona and I finally got on live. I made it much more complicated than it needs to be. That's why it took so long. But we did that about a week ago, I think. It's called Mystic Sisters. It's on this channel, so you can check it out. We're going to be doing it again. I think, I believe, I'm pretty sure Ona can do this next Friday, which is what is that? The 28th, the 29th? I don't know what day that is. Hold on, I'll tell you when that is. The 20, yeah, the 28th. It's a square between the sun and the moon. That should be interesting. Last quarter squares are always crisis in consciousness. And why not talk about consciousness, right? Um, so that's going to happen. And I do have appointable. They are, if you're interested in having a reading with me, the links will all be below. And I am going to be putting on another introduction to the Kabbalah, but I am going to wait until the fall, probably early September for that. So if you're interested, you can just drop me an email. I have a list of people who are interested, but I'll make announcements. I really wanted to do it around the summer solstice, but I actually got a little too busy. And I didn't want to spread myself too thin because we all deserve the best and we all have to do best. So I figured I'd do best when I had the opportunity to do best. All right, guys, take care. Much love. Namaste.